Median house price has gone up slightly. It's now $820,000 across Perth metro region. Only a slight increase from our last quarterly update, but I think if we look at it over the last 12 months, it's 24% growth across Perth metro region. So that's huge. So
if the rates keep dropping like they're predicted to do, there's going to be more people that are in a position that they can do it. So just be kind of mindful that you might start going, hold on, it's going to take an 18 months process to find the land, do it and get the house built, you know.
This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Land Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Build Out West podcast with your hosts Tony Hyde
and Catherine Smith. Good evening.
Good evening. Hosts. I don't know why there's too many.
We usually record in the morning, but today we are after hours. So this has been a bit of a whirlwind trying to tee up our schedules these days because we are busy for different reasons. But I think today we're actually going to talk about a mid-year market update and sort of give an update of why we've been so busy in the market and what's been happening and all the rest of it. So
and what's going to happen in the future. And it's more of the same, I think. Isn't it, you know?
I know. I feel like we're sort of flogging a dead horse, but maybe in a good way for us.
Yep.
We did do our quarterly Perth forecasting at the beginning of the year, so now we're doing our mid-year one.
And I feel like it's just, you know, what we're saying is true, right? So where will we start? Start with the median house price in Perth.
The median house price has gone up slightly. It's now $820,000 across Perth metro region. Only a slight increase from our last quarterly update, but I think if we look at it over the last 12 months, it's 24% growth across Perth metro region. So that's huge. So on average, it should be about 7% growth, like normally.
Yeah.
So 24% is nonsense. And I think that's why there's been so much media hoopla around Perth particularly.
People talk about, it'll crash. Yeah, they might crash as in it'll slow down, but the prices will pretty much hold.
Yeah, they will stabilise, but then definitely not crash.
I'll just sit on it. They're not going to sell it. So, yeah, when the market crashes, it's more like, you know, everyone gets cheap. It's not going to happen. And we'll go, why it's not going to happen for a long time.
I've actually haven't heard people talking about the market crashing for a long time. I think those people have sort of put their tail between their legs and sort of shut up, because I think maybe 2023 people are like, I'm going to wait until the market comes down and buy something, and they're very quiet. If only they bought in 2023, they'll be very happy.
We had a few interesting comments on our TikTok, didn't they, talking about you're talking rubbish. Well, we're not really.
Did we? Oh, I don't know.
We don't really engage them too much, you know. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you for your interactions.
User 579165883 comments. Put your name on it, bud.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we've had a lot of growth in the last year, and then even obviously the years previous to that as well. There's obviously major touch points to talk about and the reasons behind that. One of them particularly being the most important would be the population growth. So from 2023, I think our population expanded about 2.8%, which sounds low, but it isn't. When you talk actual numbers, it's quite huge. So on average, like let's say somewhere like Sydney and Melbourne, they're sort of more the high ones, where we're high twos. Yeah. So that's a big shift in our population increasing.
And it's a lot to do with the mining. I know people say mining is not busy, whatever it is. There's still a lot of jobs out in the mining industry. And they've just found that is it a new lithium mine, is it? Or is it, there's a big mine that's like $6 trillion worth or something. That's just going to cause more jobs, right? So.
Yeah. This is a side note, but you know when you go on the airport and they say, do you have any lithium batteries? And you say no. I mean, who even knows what a lithium battery is? I just wing it. I just assume I don't, you know?
Okay. That's going to cause
Anyway, so here we go. So our population growth has definitely increased, but obviously what's pushing the house pricing up, of course, is low housing supply. So we're actually looking into this as well. And this got Tony to bring out his calculator on his phone. So that was something that's very rare, but they're basically forecasting to build 17,000 new builds in Perth for 2025.
Yep.
17,000.
But we have estimated 90,000 new people moving to Perth. Now,
New residents.
new residents. So that includes mums, dads, and their kids, right? So they kind of work. Way I've always worked and been told to work it is off 2.4 children, right? Like 2.5 sort of thing. The average. So 90,000 divided by 2.4 is 17.5. Was it not 36.5 or what it was 1,000 houses, which means we're still 2 years behind. Plus, there's going to be a backlog of that. So there's going to be 40,000 houses going to need within the next year. And we can't build it that
Yeah,
fast,
we do about 17,000. So
we're going to be stuck doing this for the next however long.
yeah.
Right?
And then we're also discussing, the amount of volume that certain builders are actually taking on just to, I guess, start building these houses. And my message, we'll touch base on it a little bit, but, the message is some builders are taking on a lot of clientele at the moment, just because obviously we need to build these housing and we are in a low housing supply. But the other area to look at as well for our housing is affordability. So obviously compared to Sydney, which is, pricing's completely ridiculous, we're still very much affordable. So if someone has a budget of, let's say, 700, 900,000, you could get a nice family home, where obviously in Sydney you're looking 1.5, things like that. And I guess that's what entices people, but it also keeps the median up a little bit higher, because people are going, just to secure it or to win the auction or to win the offer, I'm going to put an extra 30 grand out, because 30 grand's not going to kill you. It's just going to secure the home, that kind of thing. What happens is everyone does that, and that's why it slightly increases. But to them, they're going, well, I can get so for $850 instead of $820. It's not a huge stress, right?
And the affordability against people, and what pushes the prices up to buy the rentals and stuff as well is the same thing, because the media are, and rightly going, we've got 50, 60 people rocking up to a house showing or an auction or even a rental viewing. It's like everything's demanded at the moment. And I don't think it's as wild as it used to be, but I think it's still pretty, like 10, 15, 20 people rocking up. I see a lot on the socials.
Yeah.
Who's got rentals, trying to get them secured privately and stuff like that. So there is still a huge demand. And listen to what we just said, I think the demand is going to be more and more.
Yeah. With those 3 points, the population growth, the low housing market, the supply of low builds at the moment, and obviously the affordability jumping into place. But what's interesting, obviously not everyone can afford straight away to build a house or buy a house, and the rental demand is very strong as well. So they're averaging a sort of 4% growth every year just on rentals. So rents aren't decreasing either. They are slowly increasing, but not in an aggressive way, which I think is good. But it's the average is about 4% across the board.
If you are going to go out there and buy a rental or an investment, be very careful about the area. It looks good now, but is it going to sustain? That's one place one area that will drop quickly once there is enough in the market is the rental prices drop, right? Or the rental yields. Just be careful where you're buying, because we talk about forest fields and stuff like that. I think they'll always have a high rental yield, but if you're going out to certain areas that maybe are more family oriented, you just got to be very careful about how you do it. Don't overcapitalise an area where you're going, I need $650 a week to cover it, and I'm only getting $450. That could be a possibility. Not now, but in 5, 6, 7 years. Just be careful. Just be careful with that thing. Do your homework on it.
Right. So in terms of the building market mid-year, so when we're recording this, obviously we're in July. Sort of what I touched base on before. So builders at the moment, a lot of them are very busy, taking on perhaps too much, I think.
There's a nervousness around it.
There is a nervousness around sort of the operations and the systems being able to sort of sustain the levels that we're building.
Keeping that 12-month build time, I'm seeing when I'm a little bit nervous whether some of the big or some of the even any of the builders can actually do it. We're not going to be hit with the fact that we can't get the materials in and we can't get labour, but even still, there's only so much we can do. I mean, I know for a fact that when the guys are waiting on bricks a lot. We're waiting on a lot of bricks. Well, Midland Brick can't produce enough bricks to get out there to get that and then get them out to site. Because it just can't be done. I think they're running 24/7 take sort of thing to get the bricks out.
Yeah.
So I know that's a problem, and the more we put pressure on it, because Midland Brick's the only place we can get bricks. Now, not everyone does double brick, but we've still got to have a skin of bricks. So if it's veneer inside with timber or steel framing, you still need the bricks. So therefore, you're getting caught up with still waiting on bricks, right? So there's a bit of an issue, not an issue, but so much of a kind of bit of concern around that happening, and then the rates and all that as well. the last thing I heard, there's some people getting paid $4 a brick now. So
Yeah, okay.
So just because they need brickies to go there, and I think some builders out there as well have been caught short by hiring semi-skilled labour and trying to pass them off as full trades, and then when they've got to do their trade work, it doesn't show. Or it shows as and these are anyway, you would take a quick search on the socials and you find all these stories out there, and they're legit true stories happening. So the real tradies, the good ones, are asking for the money and they're getting it because, well, you want it to be built quality, you want it built properly.
So I think also with a lot of builders, they're not building in a lot of infill, sort of like mature suburbs. A lot of them are sticking to the new home build areas, particularly because there's just enough supply and enough to build there.
It's as simple as things like it's harder to do because the land isn't flat and ready to go on. There's a lot more work to it. A lot of tradies don't want to go into these areas because it's hard to park. They can't start till 7, a little bit later. Getting the brick cartage in there. Sometimes it's behind the bloggers and a battle axe trying to cart it. So they're like, why would I spend extra time doing that when I can go into a brand new estate where it's plentiful for them? So they're just the infills are just a bit harder to do.
Yeah, and I think also the price reflects that. So there's very few builders that are in that space, but if they are, the price does reflect that as well.
I mean, we've got a couple, but we've got to ask them very, very, very nicely, and the price will be like, well,
yeah,
I don't know, 100 grand sort of thing,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think realistically we're sticking to sort of the mid-sized builders, nothing too big, nothing too small for the different reasons. Sticking to that medium-sized builder is probably the best bet for this market.
Have you noticed the whole customization sort of to slow down as well? Where we can customize a little bit inside, but even not too much. Where remember 2-3 years ago, we can literally customize what find a base plan and then customize it from there.
Yeah.
And it's tweaking, it's not even customizing, because if the minute you customize it, it goes in the system and it takes weeks and weeks to get through because of the backlog. Whereas you go to one of the plans that they've got and it's a few simple tweaks, it's really easy for the drafties to fix.
Yeah.
May not be what you want, but that's the harsh reality of what's happening out there. It's as soon as you're going out the norm, infills or customization, like big customization, it's all slows right down because you just go in the pile.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things to just be aware of. Or come and see us and we'll help you.
In terms of land, similar to what we touched on, obviously we need to build a lot of houses over the next couple of years. I would say up to 2030 at least. In saying that, the government is moving land quite quickly through planning and things like that, which is great. Like less red tape, less restrictions on it a little bit.
Building permits are 10 days now.
Things are moving quickly because we just got to get things out there. We've got to get them, got to get on the ground and actually build the houses. So that's been great because land developers are able to actually start selling land a lot quicker and a lot less work around that, you know what I mean, in terms of government.
Yeah,
or council.
They're just getting things through. They're checking on the main things and not stressing too much about the little incidents. But they've got to keep an eye on it. But they're just decided. I think they may have put more staff towards it or loosened the reins on it to allow it to happen.
Yeah, I think they just have maybe made the operations a little bit more smoother on the back end, just going, look, as long as they comply to these boxes and they will fly through a lot quicker without having it so slow. And saying that there is more land options. I mean, obviously we've talked about the land scarcity we've had for the last, 2024 was unreal. Yeah. Like I've never seen anything like that. We don't want to do that again. But 2025 has been nice because there actually is quite a fair amount of land options available. And I think that comes down to just moving things along quickly in terms of planning.
And that's completely relevant what you said now that builders are taking on loads of jobs. That there is land available now. So there's
options.
I feel that the pipeline keeps getting choked and it's different things. So last year it was the land stopped and now the land's there. It's now the capacity of builders to get there done.
And I was actually speaking to someone else about this. Like last year we were restricted so much on land, but that actually helped the industry as a whole because then builders couldn't take on more than they were able to service because they were organically restricted by the land, right? Because they were organically restricted, it allowed that extra year for the industry to get their ducks in a row to prepare for that. Now everyone's very busy in terms of operations and stuff like that, but they have that in place a little bit more. So now the land is working together with it.
I can see the bottleneck happening again and it's going to stop at the builders with capacity. That's what I see because, and I say the builders because trades, cost of trades, also getting supplies in there, the bricks and stuff. And also if the rates keep dropping like they're predicted to do, there's going to be more people that are in a position that they can do it. So just be kind of mindful that you might start going, hold on, it's going to take an 18 months process to find the land, do it, and get the house built.
18 months depends on the title.
If it's titled.
If it's titled, it'll be much quicker than that.
Well, no. From doing admin right through at the end to get it built, you'll be 18 months.
I would hope so. I hope they're much quicker.
Be prepared for that. Think about it. Look at the numbers that are going through some of these builders we've just spoke about off air. Just be mindful that could be a case. I would say plan for 18 months, and if it's done in 14, great.
Alrighty.
You know what I mean? Anyway, that was it. Mid-year review, just like that.
Just like
because it's the same stuff, but just different bottlenecks, couple of different points. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. As always, please like, share, comment,
subscribe,
all that good stuff, and we will see you next time we're looking at you.
Bye.
Bye. Look at the numbers that are going through some of these builders we've just spoke about off air. Just be mindful that could be a case. I would say plan for 18 months, and if it's done in 14, great.
Alrighty.
You know what I mean? Anyway, that was it. Mid-year review, just like that.
Just like
because it's the same stuff, but just different bottlenecks, couple of different points. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. As always, please like, share, comment,
subscribe,
all that good stuff, and we will see you next time we're looking at you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the Build Out West podcast with your host Tony Hyde from Evolution House and Lawn Specialists and Catherine Smith from Build Bright Builder Brokers.
If you guys are looking to build in WA or simply curious to see what's going on in building, you guys are in the right place. We're here to give insight with professionals in the game, coming to give the inside scoop. Episodes are uploaded weekly, so don't worry, we don't skip a beat and you won't either. Like, share, subscribe, sit back, relax, and let's go.